Jay and so many others that have worked for the outside that have helped me. Thank you so very, very much. I'll tell you just briefly, since this isn't an official city event, and I'm not saying it because he's here, Brian Jeffries, third generation Phoenician, cares and loves this city as much as I do. And he's one of the brightest stars that I've seen in terms of council people coming across, not just in Phoenix, but across the valley. And I just think that any of you that are willing to help, those are the type of leaders that are future leaders for the city. They don't see Democrats or Republicans or District 2s or 8s. They see a city that everyone needs. To some of the toasties, Ron and Marty, I go back the longest within this room. By the way, if you don't get a chance, there's a statue of Barry playing cards out by the lake, and I still bring my son out there. Dale is responsible for that, so Dale, always remember Barry. Unfortunately, in those days, St. Joe's didn't have the advance. We didn't know about the sciences that would have saved his life, which I'm sure he would be alive today with the brain tumor he had. But his spirit carries on, and he was the type of guy that said everybody works together and everybody deserves the credit, and no one person can do it. And I really learned that from Barry, because we've all been able to do all these things together. And certainly the city team, first Frank leading it, the issue would have never happened, and the light rail, the convention hotel, and then under David, all the new projects that have been happening. David Kreider, who sacrificed a great career at the airport to first come as chief of staff and to be the economic deputy, and David to allow him to be creative even in this market, together with a young star. And you should all meet Paul Blue, who's just risen to the occasion, and Jason, who's even younger, that's leading the downtown development. That's our new city manager's view is we have to get young into new positions, and most of our department heads are now younger than a few of us in this room, and they're doing a great job because of all of us working together. Linda, I can't say enough about you and your team. First of all, while so many others have helped bring the U of A Medical School and Pharmacy School here, and now the Cancer Center in TJ, it was Linda that always partnered with those entities and stood up and supported them, including the Cancer Center or other hospitals were quiet and where one was opposing it. Linda was there. Two is our office few months ago, I had a friend that moved back. He said, I moved back to downtown. I said, that's great. Where are you living? He says, you know, where that former mayor lived, out in Moon Valley. So now he